Hello, my internet fans. It's me, Statboy Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this week's installment of Throwback Thursday. The Casa D18 Studios Channel continues to sort through the archives of the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man brand, JH95 FTW, NoDQ.com, and the Casa Channel in order to bring you classic content that you may not have seen in a long time, if ever. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Throwback Thursdays offering. I love you all. Stat Boy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
If Paulie were to call you right now and say, I'm getting the ECW guys together to do a show somewhere. You know, it could be in California, it could be in Philly, it could be anywhere. Or Todd Gordon, who's doing Pro Wrestling Unplugged now, he's doing the shows at the ECW Arena, the New Alhambra Arena. If either one of those guys called you right now and say, hey, we want to use you for this, we'll pay you this, would you be interested in going, or are you strictly California right now and you're going to just wait it out?
If it was Todd Gordon, I would say good luck with the show. If it was Paul, I would say let's do lunch. Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough.
And I hope to, in some capacity, work with Paul Heyman again in the future.
All right, this one's from Jeffrey, not me, different Jeff.
Jeffrey from Toys R Us?
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. Do you have any advice?
Spells it with a G.
No, it's a J.
Okay, different Jeffrey.
Different Jeffrey. Do you have any advice at all for a 14-year-old who dreams of one day making it as a pro wrestler? I work out every other day. Every wrestling school I've applied to is saying I'm too young. I'm an 8th grader in a school that doesn't have any wrestling as a sport, so for now I'm waiting until high school to start wrestling.
Well, obviously, at 14, you are too young to be a professional, and it's great to have a goal, and it's great to work towards that goal. I was probably 14, 15 when I decided I wanted to be a wrestler. When I was 18 years old, I joined a wrestling school. Up until then, I did everything to put the odds in my favor. I wasn't a 200-pound 14-year-old. I was like 130 pounds maybe, you know. I graduated high school at like 180 pounds, you know, so I was lifting, I was eating everything I could, I was learning everything I could about wrestling, and that's what I would advise any 14-year-old or any kid or anybody that wants to wrestle. Also, you have to consider the fact that you are swimming upstream. You have to know that the odds are way against you even making it, let alone making it to the top and standing out and being successful at it. Having said that, that doesn't mean you can't do it. I can never tell anybody that they can't follow their dreams because I did it. I'm proof to myself, you know. I was just a kid and I had everybody feeding me negative energy, telling me I was never going to do it and I'd never make it. And I chose to hold on to my own faith and my own discipline, and I made it happen, you know, and I think anybody else can too. When it comes time to looking at wrestling schools, nobody's got a better setup than Booker T in Houston, Texas. The PWA is the shit. You go to any wrestling school anywhere, 99% of the times you're going to get trained by some guy that either you've never heard of, or he's some guy that you might have seen get beat on TV a few times, so now he's bitter because he's not getting booked anymore, you know, and so he comes in with this bitter attitude and wants to teach all these young guys how to respect the business, you know, and he never got his fair shot, but guess what? He didn't have what it takes. He's not marketable. Nobody wanted to make him a superstar. Any wrestler goes their whole career without ever selling one ticket, and then they feel like they got shorted because they spent enough time putting other guys over, and then they thought eventually it would just come around and it would be their time. They don't get it. It's a business. You have to sell tickets. Anyway, you go to PWA in Houston, you can get trained by Booker T, a current television superstar and one of the best ever, and that is just unheard of, you know. Besides the fact that I've been to a school, nicest school I've ever been to. It's got 4 or 5 rings, monitors over the rings so people can watch TV while they're training, the gym, the office, this big warehouse. It's awesome. Besides the 15-year anniversary show that I did, I wrestled for Booker T. It was December 28th. Those are the only 2 matches that I've had since June when I finished my WWE contract.
Do you like the way they wrote you out? Storyline with the
No,
concussion?
fuck no, man.
I thought it was so bogus.
I pride myself my entire career on being tough, you know, and even within the confines of entertainment, it's important for me to show my durability, my speed, you know, the abuse that I can take. As I said, people watch my matches and they know they couldn't survive those kinds of matches. That's because I'm really eating shit. I'm getting DDT'd on top of my head. I'm taking a chair shot that folds a chair around my head. I'm out there to show what I got. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are buying a ticket to see me. I'm in the spotlight. I'm not going to hold back. That's what it's about. I'm tough. I've gone my whole career, you know, without really being injured, you know, until I had to have my knee reconstructed, which was so many years in, and I went so long on it after it was injured that I'm actually fairly proud of that. To be written out because I had a concussion on the storyline, it's very weak. It's insulting to my character, and I hate the fact that some fans that might not watch your show or some of the insights, you know, behind the scenes, they might still in their mind think that I'm out with a concussion, and no, that's not cool to me. I want it out so bad that when they suggested it, I saw that as my exit and said, boom, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
See ya.
Yeah.
Somebody give me some ice, I got a headache, bye.
Yeah. I think it's great that most of the RVD fans, the true RVD fans, the ones that have followed you since the early days of ECW, are the ones that go on the websites, are the ones that follow behind the scenes, and they know for sure that's not the case that you're at with
Hope so.
still. Hope so.
For the longest time, I was getting get well wishes on my MySpace, in MySpace/5-Star Comics.
Yes, make sure you go to that. Also, robvandam.com, where you can pick up
Dude, check this out.
brand new shirt, brand spanking new
T-shirt.
RVD TV, is that what it is? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see the TV part on it. Cool.
Rob Van Dam signature, autograph on the back.
You can't get that anywhere unless you go to this guy. So
Some yin-yangs on the sleeve to keep you harmoniously in balance.
there you go.
It's all about balance.
Check it out at the 5-Star Comics store on robvandam.com.
And don't send any get well wishes because I am doing great.
He's great. The knee's
I feel
good. The head's
happy,
good.
I feel healthy. I feel terrific.
You feel good. Have you given any thought to opening your own wrestling school? to do what the Sheik did for you?
That's always been on the table as a possible scenario, something I could do. Right now, it couldn't really be a lot further from my interest. Part of being so burnt out on wrestling is that I need to stay away from it. That's part of my spiritual rehabilitation right now, is by staying away from wrestling. That means I don't watch it, which has been true to me since like 2000 or so anyway. When I do interviews and people say, how do you feel that they're using Eugene right now? I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't watch it. Even when I was doing it, I would just watch my matches to critique it, as a business perspective and try and improve, but I believe, that probably I've got a lot to offer, and if I had a wrestling school, I would hopefully be able to really teach some insight from a one-of-a-kind perspective, on what it's like to be out there performing, however, not interested in it. Right now, I'm so burnt out on wrestling that when I look at wrestling, I don't understand it. I don't understand why there's 10,000 people in the stands. Why have they left there? I would sit there and do that. When I was on the show, towards the end there, I'd say, why are all these people here filling up this arena? Why aren't they at home? Because I wanted to be home. I miss home. Right. These guys, they watch these same assholes on TV every single week. It's just 4 ropes. Everybody's got 2 arms and 2 legs. Most of them aren't doing anything different, giving any effort or any attempt whatsoever to show something that we haven't seen. So I don't understand what they enjoy about it, and that's when I realized I really needed to not be there, because I didn't get it anymore, Last night I turned on UWF and I was flipping through the channels, right? And I said, I watched a couple minutes of Brian Blair and something, and I was laughing, and I was like, the wrestling was so different then because the bar hadn't been raised up so high, it was a total different style. I enjoyed it for a few minutes, and then I realized if you don't really love that business, you can't do it. You can't. You have to really, really love it. Bruno Sammartino is obviously the legend of legends. I mean, you're not going to hear anybody say anything but utmost respect for that guy. That's what I find. And I'm listening to his commentary and I'm thinking, this guy has to really love it to do what he's doing. He has to. I'm watching and I just saw this horrible, horrible, crappy, shitty punch somebody threw a wrestling. It was just something that made me want to turn the channel. And I'm listening to Bruno saying, oh, wow, did you see that left come out of, right field and nearly knocked his jaw off? And I'm thinking, I couldn't do that. I could not get there and pretend I'm enjoying that to the point to where I'm trying to get other people to enjoy it too, I'd be the opposite. If I was a commentator, I'd be like, oh my God, he didn't even get that drop kick above his waist. What the hell? Don't these guys go to wrestling school before they come out on TV? Did you see that? He tried to drop kick him and 1 foot went in his nuts and the other one hit him in the thigh. You people see that? Oh, there he goes, trying to make it up the ropes. We'll be lucky if he makes the top with his coordination. I would be the opposite. I'd be just tearing these guys apart because that's what I see.
Now that you've taken a step back and you're looking from the outside in at ECW right now and the way it's being presented by WWE, I noticed, and one of the fans brought this up, his name is Billy, at the Royal Rumble match itself.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy. Chavo Guerrero, who is the ECW champion right now, was entered in the Royal Rumble match. And the winner of the Rumble is supposed to get a championship opportunity. Why does it make sense for a champion of the ECW champion at that to challenge for a world championship? Shouldn't the ECW title be considered a world title? They saw that as kind of a slap in the face to the ECW title and the ECW itself. So how long do you see ECW actually existing after doing these constant things to just water down the name ECW?
Well, I'll tell you, the response I have to that is based on a conversation I had with Vince McMahon when I was telling him why ECW is not going to work. Okay, the ECW fans aren't going to go for this. All right, you can't do this and this, and I hit him with all these things. And at first he would listen to me, and when I knew that it was time for me to start, looking towards the exit doors, when I realized he had absolutely no interest whatsoever in reviving the spirit of ECW. It didn't even need revived. It was there. Obviously it was there. The fans brought it. Us original wrestlers brought it. And it was a big part of the show that Vince refused to see. And, his response was, oh, Rob, nobody remembers the old ECW. And I swear, this is a man who has the largest ego that you'll ever deal with. I've never met anybody. And it's not from a point of it's not like he's a conceited asshole. It's not like that. It's just that the way that he thinks is inside the McMahon box. He never has to think outside the McMahon box. He says, Rob, things change. People grow up. They have kids, they get married, they move on, they quit watching wrestling, you know. I said, wait a second, didn't we bring back ECW based on the success of One Night Stand? You know, in that DVD, The Rise and Fall of ECW.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that, you know, what generated this? He goes, Rob, for all I know, those 2,500 fans at the Manhattan Ball Center were the last of the old ECW fans. I said, you're kidding me.
God.
They bought that DVD everywhere. Well, yeah, I advertised it on my show. So, Vince, why do you think the fans chant ECW? Because I spent the last 5 years training them to do that. And the thing is, he honestly really believes that. He's speaking from some kind of position that to me is far from reality. So how do you argue with that? You can't argue with that. You tap. Eventually you tap. You say, okay, I'm done. You know, when I told him ECW is not going to work, it comes across like a third brand that's a lesser brand. It's not as cool as the other two. So really, what you've done is you've had this product that was totally different, and you've made it much in the same pattern or same likeness as the other ones, but with a much lesser quality. That's how it comes across. And when I told him that, and I said it's not going to work because the ECW fans, they want to support the original ECW, you know what he says to me? Rob, it's going to work because I'm going to make it work.
Oh, brother.
Well, there you go. So how long do I think it's going to last? I guess, you know, Vince has some deep pockets. If he doesn't change his perspective and he thinks he's going to keep it going, then I guess he can keep it going. This guy, it's more important for him to say that he's been there at the top than it is for him to say he's had success. I truly believe that. People ask me about that with the movies out here. You know, how come when he does these movies, you know, why does he look to get his wrestlers? Well, he likes to do big box office movies that cost $30 million, that lose $30 million. Then he can say he's had a movie in all the theaters, advertised everywhere, a top, you know, theatrical release. And to him, that's more important than spending an intelligent $2 million on an action movie that can really gross a lot. No, that's not the way he thinks. He brought back his own football league, you know, to compete just so he could say that he's done that. Lost money, big deal. He brought back his own, you know, his own bodybuilding federation. It's the same thing for Vince. I think it's more important for him to say he's been there, he's done that, and you can all remember it because he was on top. And for him, that is his own standard of success that you use, and you compare it to like you or I, who would use a measure of success standard by like, did we make any money off of it?
Yeah.
Tell you what, if you got $1 billion, I guess you don't look at it's some pocket change the same way.
It's so funny with Vince, you know, the thing I remember most about watching the McMahon DVD that came out, I think it was 2 years ago or last year, whatever it was, there were so many failures mentioned in the trailers, the WBF, the XFL, you know, all these failures, and then when the DVD comes out, the WBF is nowhere to be found on the DVD at all. Mm-hmm. The XFL is a little blip on a clip, and then, you know, the whole thing, you know, the big angle everybody talked about with Vince, that he's the only one like it was the big KD big angle with Triple H. And, you know, he said, I just don't think it was funny. It's like, what are you watching? What are you doing? For me, I think that, you know, I think reviving ECW for him was kind of like, okay, let's give the people what they want, but then I'm going to make them know what they want. And that's what you basically said. Yeah. You know, that's just my opinion. That's how I see it. I'm going to make them know what they want. You know that's how he is.
When you're the only show in town, you can force feed wrestling to the crowd and say, this is wrestling because I say it's wrestling. You know?
Exactly.
And that's how it used to be, by the way. Back like when I was a fan, we got WWF and that was it. I didn't have the satellite or Cablevision. I didn't get WCW where I grew up in Battle Creek, and I didn't get AWA or UWF or none of that. I only knew WWF, you know, and so to me, you know, Vince's television dominated. Whatever he said was wrestling, it was to me and to many other people. And then several years later, he kind of lost the ability to say, I'm going to show you what wrestling is. It's what I want it to be. Because then people say, wait. Okay, we like your 300-pound dancing hillbillies and all that. But now we got Japanese wrestling, we got Mexican wrestling, we got all these other organizations, and now we know that there's some guys that might not be 300 pounds that are way more entertaining to watch, that are working their asses off for my dollar, that are creative, that are acrobatic, they're athletic, and guess what? Eventually it became up to the fan to actually choose. They had a choice, you know. Now it's back to where they don't really have a choice again, isn't it?
Yep. One of our fans, John, wanted to know.
Hey, John.
His nickname is Cheeseburger for some reason. I don't know why, but it is. If you hadn't been locked into a contract in the original One Night Stand 2005, when you came out to the promo with Fonzie against the WWE Crusaders,
sure.
If you hadn't been locked into a contract, would you have done Hardcore Homecoming as well? And who would you like to work at that show? Or both shows, actually, because you didn't get to work. All you did was the brief interference with Rhino.
Well, if I wasn't under contract with WWE, of course they could have still brought me in, you know, as a day player, like they did for a lot of the ECW guys, or they signed him up for a temporary deal and got rid of him or whatever. So if we're going to rule out that option as well, then of course I would have been interested in the Hardcore Homecoming. You know, the thing about that is ECW One Night Stand was my idea, right?
Right.
I was the one that went to Vince and said, you know what, there's this void. We want to be seen the way we used to be seen. We want that artistic freedom. The fans, they miss it. They want to see that too. We just need one night, an alumni reunion. All the ECW fans get together, no storylines, nothing. Just give us one night to show the way that we want to wrestle, the way that we want to reach out to our fans artistically. And that was my idea. And to go to Vince with that and to say, you know, if we can do this on WWE's platform so the whole world can see what they might have missed if they didn't get syndicated TV or whatever, that was just, it was obviously a very successful idea. And then what I guess Hardcore Homecoming's follow-up idea must have been, well, wait a second, now if they're doing this, but Vince is getting all the money, that's bullshit, and we're not invited, let's do our own show, let's get everyone here, you know, that they're not using, let's show what ECW really is, because Vince doesn't know, he doesn't know ECW, and he shouldn't be getting the money. So it's kind of like a split, you know, thought there. True, Vince, you know, was ultimately getting the money, but it was because of him that the thing even came about, and also it was his platform, you know, and it was him. It was WWE's television and pay-per-view that got it seen around the world, you know. If I didn't have any of that and I'd just been approached, you know, Hardcore Homecoming, hey, we're going to do this thing, WWE's got their show, we're going to do our own, then of course I would have been interested in talking to them. I don't necessarily think that they put out a different spirit, which I think was probably the intention. They probably thought, this one's going to be a WWE version of ECW, and it really wasn't. A little bit.
The first one wasn't. I'll give you that.
With the exception of having JBL and those guys in the building. They didn't need to be there, obviously.
No.
But with the exception of that, dude, it was ECW all the way, because it was us, the performers. And that day I had to go around to the guys, too, and kind of loosen them up, man. They're all like, you know, like all nervous, like they think they're there for an audition to try and get a job with WWE. I'm like, no, guys, stop it. We're here to show what ECW is, man. Be yourself, you know? He must have said 15 times, you're like, I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I should know who you are. I'm sorry I don't follow wrestling. It's like, dude, fuck off. We know you're not a fan, or else we wouldn't be having these cups sitting in the back of your car, you know? People ask me all the time about, you know, why don't you go to TNA? You could have better matches, you can be with this guy, and obviously I don't have that passion, that desire, that self-challenging factor in me saying, oh, I think I can go 35 minutes with that guy and give him his best match. It's not about that for me.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 15 of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, back after a 2-week hiatus. I apologize for the lag in videos. Me and Jeff, we both posted it up on our Facebooks, letting y'all know that we've been out there making moves, trying to make events happen where y'all can come out and hang out with us, trying to get t-shirts lined up. We've actually got a couple submissions of logos. We're going to be going through some more, putting them up there on our Facebooks for you guys, our fans, to be voting on for the Renegade of Wrestling. I'm going to have my own shirt. And then the joint one we're doing with Jeff, we're going to have some Dads of Wrestling shirts, all for you guys to vote on. So again, I apologize for the lag in shows. Here to get back down to business. First things first, last week in wrestling television was actually a pretty boring week. Overall, I say TNA Impact was the better show, with Mick Foley coming out as the network, Chyna debuting as Kurt Angle's mistress to help put the boots to Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. All around, TNA Impact was actually just the better show last week, with all those surprises that came. Raw, pretty boring, pretty standard fare. Miz is the number one contender over Alberto and Rey Mysterio. Kind of would like to have seen Alberto versus Cena, but rumor is they're holding off on that until SummerSlam, which will be live at the Staples Center. I'll be at, a lot of the crew will be at, so you'll be able to check us out there for sure. But, Rey Mysterio versus John Cena, that would have been good too. Something a little different. See if Cena could hang with Mysterio. Granted, Mysterio's knees are kind of fucked up, and he's not the Mysterio he was 15 years ago. That Rey Mysterio from 15 years ago, John Cena couldn't see him. Seriously. But The Miz and John Cena, I'm already starting to get tired of it. Miz is going to job, obviously, because, it's an I quit match. John Cena doesn't say I quit. Unless they go Rock Mankind. Something to think about. Unless they pipe that in over the PA like they did back in the day, John Cena's not going to say I quit. Match of the week, I think, was Daniel Bryan versus Sin Cara from SmackDown. Awesome match. Second, Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryan's his slave name. Granted, Bryan Danielson had to job out to Sin Cara, but that's to be expected. Sin Cara's getting the huge push, raising him on up the ladder there, getting him into that main event spot. Daniel Bryan's just kind of chilling in the mid-card. But awesome match. Whew, that was a lot that I just went through in a couple minutes there. Let's see. The pay-per-view. We just had the TNA pay-per-view on Sunday. Nothing huge to report there. No titles changed hands. Kurt Angle finally got a victory over Jeff Jarrett thanks to having Chyna with him. Mickie James retained her title over Madison, which now releases Victoria. Granted, they didn't go with the ending that I personally would like to have seen for the match, but Tara is now free and free to compete again in the Knockouts division, free to try and get the title back. Doesn't have to deal with Madison's bullshit anymore. So that's a huge plus. Yesterday, the crew, the whole crew, freaking Double A, Stat Boy, Mr. TW, Jeff Meacham, myself, even the moms on wrestling, all rolled out to Hollywood for the NWA Championship Wrestling tapings. Awesome matches. If you guys have not gotten the message yet, me and Jeff totally support the NWA. You guys need to shell out your $15 every month. Go to the Regent Showcase Theater, purchase your ticket, and watch these fucking matches. If you don't live in SoCal and you can't make it, NWAHollywood.com. Look it up. Watch the episodes online. And as an added bonus now, they've even got the Grill 'Em All truck that's been coming out there. Huge burgers. Awesome burgers. I had the Samoa Joe burger with cheddar cheese, onions, pineapples, and barbecue sauce. Killer. Double A had him the Behemoth. The Behemoth is so big, the buns are fucking grilled cheese sandwiches. Just throwing that out there, people. And as a bonus, buy a burger off the truck, save $5 off your admission, making it even more worth your time. But we had a blast out there. Be on the lookout on TV for all you SoCal locals, KDOC. Be on the lookout on TV for Davina Rose versus Buggy. Be on the lookout for Joey Ryan versus Brandon Parker. Be on the lookout for Colt Cabana versus Todd Chandler. Be on the lookout for Chaos versus Willie Mack. And of course, match of the night, 2 out of 3 falls tag team action. The Rock Nest Monsters versus the Cutler Brothers. You guys need to make sure you check all those matches out. That match was fucking sick. They took it into the street and threw one of the dudes into a car. A moving, stopped for a second, but moving vehicle. I haven't seen that since the early 90s when freaking Shawn Michaels and Kurt Hennig were fighting out in the middle of the street. It's just craziness. So, get on the NWA bandwagon. It is still early. Next month, June 5th, is going to be the next set of tapings. Most of the crew will probably be out there. Don't know if the moms will make it on the next one or not, but the majority of the crew will probably be out there for that one. Keep you posted in the coming months. This Sunday is going to be Over the Limit on pay-per-view. Be on the lookout for a special episode. Myself and Jeff, possibly even the Lady Killer, giving you our predictions again this month as to what we think is going to happen at the pay-per-view. Hopefully to be coming from you live from the Long Beach Clothing Company. We'll find out what happens if I can ever get the phone call back from the homie Kenji to see if we're all good to go. Question time. I actually got a question. I think this is only like the second or third one that I've answered on the show so far, because most of the questions or topics that we get are suggested for dads on wrestling. But one of my Facebook friends, Warren Mapp, wanted to know what I think should be brought back. What match or gimmick or idea do I think should come back? And even though it's kind of sort of back in a half-ass state, I'd like to see return to a monthly pay-per-view, The King of the Ring. I think there's enough talent there now that could do a solid tournament for that big push that the King of the Ring used to provide. When guys like Owen Hart, Steve Austin, Triple H, Kurt Angle all won the tournament and then went from the tournament to being huge stars in the company. Brock Lesnar. I think you've got your John Morrisons, Drew McIntyres, Cody Rhodes. Who else you got? Daniel Bryan. You've got enough guys there now that could fill out a huge, awesome tournament and really, really make it worthy of being a pay-per-view quality affair again. Another thing I'd like to see brought back, probably going to get a little bit of grief for this because this is a WCW thing and it was from a movie, but I'd like to see the triple cage come back that was used in Ready to Rumble. I think if used sparingly and not beaten to death like the Hell in a Cell had become, like the Chamber is starting to become, I think if used sparingly would be a hell of a match to cap off a very heated feud. It's like, where can you go after Hell in a Cell? The triple cage. Something to think about. That's about it for this week that I've got to talk about. So hopefully we will see you guys next week on this week on Dads on Wrestling, when we give you a brand new episode. And be sure to be on the lookout for us this Sunday at Over the Limit. We're going to be at National Sports Grill watching the pay-per-view. Me, Jeff, Lady Killer, we're all going to be there. National Sports Grill in Torrance, California. Look it up. Be on the lookout for the dads. And we'll see you this coming week with a brand new dads. And I'll see you next week with a brand new Renegade. See you around.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Masters Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. All Retro Wrestling Review Series videos on demand and upcoming. All WrestleMania themed retros available now on demand. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play Series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play Series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. Indy Force Episode 26, available now on demand. Jeff Meacham Network, Backlash and Rebellion Watch-Along events. FTW Productions Watch Party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7. Our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome everybody to this episode of Double Down with Double A. Hello YouTube fans, I am your gracious host, Double A, along with a very special guest here, somebody that hasn't been on my show in a while, but, you know, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
I thought you were going to take care of that for me as the host of the show. I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, but you already knew. Oh, jeez. Well, anyways, this is a pretty interesting topic, and so far it looks like we might be getting our wish. For one, when in the hell are they going to do it? And two, if Eric Bischoff was in Vince McMahon's shoes right now, how long ago do you think it would have happened? And we're talking about John Cena turning heel.
Well, when you first posed the question to me, I don't think you posed it as if Eric Bischoff was in control, when would it have happened? You just asked me when it should have happened.
Yeah.
I can give you two different times when I think that it should have happened and it would have been successful without having to wait for this whole Cena Rock thing to go down. Option number one is WrestleMania 23 in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
because the crowd was solidly behind Shawn that night, more so than they were when John fought Trips the year prior in Chi-Town. But the crowd was solidly behind HBK that night in Detroit.
Oh, yes. I remember that night.
And option 2 would have been 2008, I believe I looked up, when he came back and won the Rumble and then went on to WrestleMania. Having just been out with the torn pec muscle, he could have come back, won the Rumble, gone to Mania, won the belt, and then the next night on Raw, come out like, why are y'all cheering me now? Y'all been booing me for the better part of the last 3 years. Fuck y'all, I came out here and did this shit for myself.
Ooh.
I didn't do it for you. I rehabbed, came back ahead of schedule, won the Rumble, won the title because I wanted to, not because I wanted to do it for you guys.
You know what, those two sound like very good possible ideas. I think another perfect opportunity was, you're kind of displaying it right now, is when he was forced to join the Nexus, and they turned into a big fucking circus, if you will.
See, that's the problem there about that one, though, is he was forced to join the Nexus.
True, but...
So he was going to be the babyface in that scenario because he was doing something against his will.
True, but at the same time, they could have turned into something where he could have, pretty much knocked, Wade Barrett off of his little pedestal and say, fuck you, I'm going to lead the new Nexus. I'm going to be the one to take the Nexus to the top. I'm going to be the one where, coincidental in Nexus, NWO, take this and flip it around where I could be that, top, heel leader of a faction,
Yeah, but I think the problem with the whole Nexus scenario is, aside from the fact that he was forced into it, is it would have been too predictable. For him to be forced into Nexus and then eventually come around, turn full on heel, and overthrow Wade Barrett would have been too predictable. Nobody would have seen it coming, either the other two proposed ideas. Nobody would have seen him turning heel on Shawn Michaels coming, because they had just been tag champions. Nobody would have seen him pissing on the fans after coming back from his injury coming. That would have been a big ol' freaking curveball blindsiding people.
Is that why you think, personally I think going down that is why they didn't do it with, him whole feuding with Kane and Kane saying embrace your hate, as opposed to rise above hate?
I think it would have been too forced. I think Kane did his job in the fact that Kane's whole mission was to bring out a tougher side of Cena.
Okay.
And going into his match against The Rock, he needs to have a tougher side about him. He can't be, 5 moves of doom and waltz out of Miami.
He'll get annihilated.
He's already walking into a hostile situation. He's walking into The Rock's home. And then to do the same old shit that he always does, he's going to get booed out of the building regardless. So he needs to go in there looking like he did in those matches against Triple H and Shawn Michaels, where they actually pulled some fucking good matches out of him.
Oh, yes.
Not the Kurt Angle caliber matches that he was wrestling when he first debuted, but better than the same old shit he's been doing.
Oh, yeah. I do agree with that.
Since he first got his hands on the title. But I think that was the whole purpose of the Kane thing, was just to give him that edge back. Kind of like that She's-tastic chick flick, how Stella got her groove back.
Really?
Kane and Cena was to help Cena find his groove back, to get back to that, what we saw on Raw, where he just came out Thugonomics 101, and just murdered The Rock. The Rock got some good shots in on The Rock concert, but it took him 10 minutes to do what it took Cena 2 minutes to do.
Going back on that Doctor of Thugonomics thing, I stated earlier in the episode where it says, looks like we're finally starting to get our wish.
Yes.
And we kind of touched on that last night where I pretty much said, when they finally do turn him full on heel, he can't be the Doctor of Thugonomics again. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I mean, and main reason why I say so, and I believe you disagreed with me on it, is...
And I'll tell the fans why in a second. Go ahead and
get
your point.
The main reason what got him over as his over-the-top baby face was the Doctor of Thugonomics. You can't go back to what, you have to like completely repackage him. Go back to when he was, debuting against Kurt Angle, but displaying that ruthless aggression.
Okay.
And just unleashing on all these people that are just getting in his fucking way.
Here's the problem, though. When John Cena debuted as that white meat ruthless aggression character, he was full on babyface. That's the only problem with your theory, is when he debuted and went toe-to-toe with Kurt Angle, he debuted as an automatic babyface. It wasn't until he first adopted the wigger, if you will, personality, trying to impersonate Vanilla Ice, coming out with, B squared and everything, that he first started to turn heel. So, for the heel turn to be complete, he needs to go back to that. And my main point to you last night, and tell the fans, as long as he's dissing baby faces, he's gonna be heel. When he starts dissing heels, is when he becomes babyface. It's all just a matter in the battle rap. You should know that better than anybody growing up in Detroit like you did. It's the art of the battle rap. I mean, hell, y'all have watched 8 Mile, right? Okay.
Oh, really? You had to go there?
Yeah, I had to. It's the most resourceful thing that people can go to. Is look at 8 Mile and all the freestyles there.
True.
When M is just shooting the shit with his boys, throwing disses left and right, some of those disses could be considered heelish because, he's dissing on his homies. But once he gets to the big, battle scene and starts dissing on, Lotto and Papa Doc and all them, immediate babyface. It's just a matter of who you're dissing. So if John Cena, the John Cena we saw on Monday with The Rock, comes out there and he starts ripping on Chris Jericho, if he starts ripping on Kane, if he starts ripping on...
Jericho a heel?
That's what I was getting to. If he starts ripping on all these heels, he's going to be a face. But if he goes out there and he starts dissing CM Punk, if he starts dissing, Kofi Kingston, talking about his nasty dreadlocks, if he starts dissing, Evan Bourne, if he starts dissing Zack Ryder, going to be a heel. People are going to hate on him thinking that he turned on his broski.
Wow.
That's all it takes.
True.
Is the right target.
True. I agree with that. I agree with that, and I'll be the first to admit I totally marked out to it.
Yeah. We all did.
That's
why I'm rocking the hat.
And if I doubt he's watching, but if he is, hey, you're starting to get me back. Don't screw it up. But one thing I can say is if they do the ruthless aggression thing, they can tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
They could tweak it a little bit to where he's not and only thing that made it different when he came out as the ruthless aggression, guy was he went out after a top heel. If he would have came out with that same type of aggression at, the Triple H or the Stone Colds back then, or even Hulk Hogan, everybody just like, boo, straight out on him. If he would have done the same thing but on somebody else,
right,
or even a Taker,
what he needs to do, well, see, one of his big first feuds was with Taker, and Taker recognized him as the future of the business until he turned heel. Then Taker started shitting on John. But what John needs to do is bring that wrestling style back with the Thugonomics persona. You know, kind of adopt a little bit of what Dolph Ziggler's been doing. You know, it's not cocky if you can back the shit up. Get on the microphone, talk shit, get in the ring, use those moves that he used against Kurt Angle and did in his early matches, and back the shit that he talks up. That's his problem as of late, is that he doesn't talk shit, and his ring work has got awful.
Yes, yes.
But if he starts talking shit, and then getting in the ring and backing it up, people are going to be like, you know what? First they're going to boo him for talking shit. Then they're going to be like, well, you know what? He's talking shit, but everything he's saying is true.
Well, I guess that's about it for right now. What do you fans think? You know, leave your questions and comments, you know, in the comment box. I know we're gonna get trolls. I mean, they're unavoidable.
I do have one thing I want to ask you though, off wrestling topic.
Okay.
Just because I'm sitting here, I have to do this. What did you think about Detroit getting their asses handed 2 games in a row while they were in California?
Okay, on that note, I'm going to have to do an infamous walk-off. I'm leaving my own fucking show because of this shit.
See you next time. This was Double Down with Double A, and I just made him walk.
Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from A Simple Man's Brand.
King? What the hell just happened?
Something tells me that Andrade and Malachi have formed an alliance, but I think a certain now Queen may be in the weights, because remember, for those that watch Crown Jewel, Zelina was named Queen's Crown tournament winner. But with these two here of who they are associated with, because if you look back, Andrade was paired with Zelina Vega in WWE. Tommy is married to Zelina, known as Thea Trinidad as her real life name.
Right.
Something tells me this is, and like I said, for those that are watching, this is just me giving a stretch. This is just me thinking outside the box. But this is like a little hint of basically saying, is Zelina on her way, and is her contract with over there in Stanford a short-term type of contract where you came back, we feel sorry, we're going to give you the Queen's Crown winner, you can be Queen Zelina, but we're not going to push you. We're just going to let your contract expire, and then she could join up with Andrade and Malachi. Right now, it's like a little teaser, a big teaser at that.
Yeah, okay.
Before you continue, are you guys recording for the ATW? Should I get on computer? Because I'm on my phone right now.
I mean, you're fine, dude. We're just literally talking. This is what I'm going to call an ATW quick take, because I got to join, of course, the lovely CG in about 15 minutes. But for those that don't know, welcome to our simple post-Rampage discussion. I don't normally do this, but I figured from out of nowhere, from what we just saw in the first hours, we just talked about the ending, and we now know our women's tournament bracket. I'm extremely pleased. I figured, why the fuck not do a quick 10-minute take? So whether people are on camera or not, heck, you can't see me. I'll go off camera too. We are simply here to talk to you about AEW. But I digress. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Simple ATW View Quick Take. I am the Simpleman Noah Foster, joined by audio with the King A Train and the Archangel James Keebert. As he alluded to in that intro, we told you about the ending. You now see the bracket before you. Gentlemen, I'm just going to go quick and simple with you for the next 10 minutes. Let's fucking talk. First off, James, nice to see you. Your thoughts on the bracket. I challenge you to make a bracket. You did not come up with it in time, unless you're going to try and talk about it now. Your thoughts on the bracket.
No, I had no time, dude. I was so fucking busy with everything.
That's why I thought. It's all good. But your thoughts on the bracket now revealed.
I lost the bracket. I don't know what happened. The bracket went away.
I thought you remember it. Okay, fine. I'll help you. Here, boom.
Okay, cool. My thoughts on the bracket are, okay, why, so 4 women get first round buys. Not sure why they couldn't have put, like, how do you not have Diamante in here? How do you not have Kylie King in here? How do you not have fucking, like you could have had women fight these women that got a first round buy. That's like my only complaint. Otherwise, the bracket's fine, but like, you know, I wish they had Kylie King, Kylie King.
Sky Blue. I was rooting for Sky Blue. I was looking at the more ambitious side of AEW, but clearly this tournament is focusing more on the established Heart roster.
Yeah, Red Velvet's there. Okay. Yeah, it's just. And then there's other women too. Like, I don't know. There was like 4 other women you could have put in those slots and had them lose. Like, Diamante and Thunder Rosa should have been a first-round match. Jane Cargill and fucking Layla Hirsch should have been a first-round match. Wait, is Layla Hirsch in the tournament? No, she's not. Why she isn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose, Sky Blue, Chris Statlander, Kylan King. I mean, I don't... why they didn't do it, I don't know, but fuck it, I guess.
Well, the way I see it is this, James, if I can quickly sum it up for you. They're focusing on the core Heart roster of AEW right now for the TBS title, and I feel all those names you mentioned will be challengers for the TBS title down the line. Although I do kind of wish that the matches you did talk about for the buy people kind of happened. But if you all have looked at the rankings like I have, you will notice that they literally gave the buys to those in the rankings, which I think makes sense, because if you're in the rankings, clearly you earned something.
All right, that's fair. I don't know. To me, if you're gonna do a tournament, you can't. The whole thing is with the tournament or any stipulation match, though, is to completely throw the rankings in a tailspin. That's the whole point. So why not put some intrigue and some good matches in that regard? Like, I mean, whatever.
I'm just expecting bigger things. I feel like for those that are involved, that are official signing, like Layla Hirsch. Again, I keep thinking she's going to join our circle and be part of the whole Great American Top Team feud. And then as far as what you're saying too, we still have to figure out, of course, Full Gear. And after the night, by the way, what a freaking impressive effort and match Anna Jay had with Britt Baker, man. That was impressive.
Yeah, that was really good. Two great matches with Anna Jay, Britt Baker, Andrade Impact too. That was fucking great.
That insane, furious ending with the pinfall exchange combination for the bastard to get the win, and then everything goes to hell. Holy cow, man! Another classic.
That was the most chaotic. That was the most chaotic finish of an AEW show that has happened ever.
Yeah, and I loved it. I fucking loved it. King, your quick thoughts. We briefly talked about, of course, on our Zoom call, but you already saw the bracket. You know the bracket. You even bracketology kind of the bracket in your opinion. Give your thoughts on the bracket.
All I gotta say, and I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna keep it simple, not short. I'm gonna keep it simple. This is going to be a good tournament. This is a good bracket, and I feel like this is going to be a good tournament because at least this tournament will be leagues better than what the Stanford boys over there did in the final for the finals.
That much is already
like you said, James. That much alone, right? This bracket here already alone is way better. Like, at least we're going to see some good matches. At least it won't be like past, at least it won't be a minute. It won't be 2 minutes type of thing. Because over here in AEW, they respect women's wrestling over here.
Which, by the way, before we continue with that, also, like, I really do enjoy that they showed their depth. I feel like everybody said it wasn't needed. They have a lot of fucking women more than they realize.
Yes.
In the tournament, they actually have a lot of women. And I just named 4 that should have been in this bracket right off the top of my fucking head. So there's a ton of great women on this roster that you are justifiable to have 2 singles titles. You didn't see that until you saw this bracket.
Yeah.
It shows when you actually see it right in your face, like, oh, wow, they really needed it, didn't they? Jesus Christ, there's so many.
Well, again, when you look at the growth of the women's roster, that's always been like that first red herring of this company. You definitely can see how much it has evolved over time. And again, you look at these matches.
Oh, it's like leagues better. It's leagues better than it was now. It might even be the more important division. If we're talking about talent, right?
Yeah.
WWE probably still has the best, at least for now, knock on wood, in like 2 years when they do another round of cuts. But, like, they, at least for right now, have the best talent.
Mm-hmm.
But arguably, when you see the brackets here, I care more about the AEW women on AEW than I have for the WWE side in a very long time. So this is arguably the more important women's division. I don't think that you could dispute that now. Like, this shows it. This whole bracket shows it.
And like I said, the thing about the AEW Women's Division, one word, potential. Bam. There it is. Let's go ahead and briefly talk about these matches real quick. Anna Jay versus Jamie Hayter really came into play after Anna Jay, again, phenomenal match tonight, clocked Jamie Hayter in the face. And I was wondering Jamie Hayter was going to be involved in this. She could be bringing more gold to the trio. We'll see. The bunny. Yay, Allie. She takes on Red Velvet. These two are no strangers to each other. Literally, Red Velvet's life was saved one time on a tope suicida by Allie. I'm curious to see how far Red Velvet has grown. And I'm curious to see Allie send her down the rabbit hole there. I said it. I'm just saying, but it's just a thought. Serena Deeb, Ricardo Shida. Shida's still looking for a 50th win, now out for revenge. Deeb with a brand new attitude. This could be a stealer of the entire tournament right here, considering that both these ladies right now, they just want to literally prove something against one another. And again, at this point, Shida, I feel that's going to come in with a brand new attitude. This is definitely going to surpass the previous match. And Penelope Ford now visits Ruby Soho after Allie visited Soho, got the best of her in a roll-up combination. curious if the Superbad girl can do the same thing, but we'll see what happens, or if Ruby gets the better of her like she did. And of course, as we see, there's a lot of potential in round 2.
I will say before we get to the round 2 things, I feel like just from all of that, Penelope Ford definitely has to be the one to still improve, because man, she's still a little bit slow when it comes to in-ring.
Well,
everybody
based
else
on her move set alone, I do see what you're saying, but again, we're gonna have to wait and see. And why I would love to talk about round 2, guys. Let's go ahead and just watch this, and then we'll talk about as it goes. Because right now we have to start round 1, and as we know, round 1 it begins tomorrow. And I love the fact this is simply on Dynamite Rampage, really bringing the women's division to the most eyes possible and bringing it forward. As we know, tomorrow we will get Penelope Ford, as you alluded to, versus Ruby Soho. Will the experience of Ruby Soho overcome Penelope Ford, or will this dangerous, cunning, super bad attitude allow Penelope Ford to get to the second round? Will her friend be in her corner? But not only that, in what I think could be the match of the night tomorrow night, and again, I'm challenging this against Bryan Danielson and Dustin, so we'll see what happens. But Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida, they go at it again, and no doubt she is going to come with a brand new attitude. And I can't wait for this. And this actually happens on Wednesday.
This match is going to steal round 1. I'm telling you right now.
Easily.
They're shitting.
Yeah, I have to agree. But I'm just going to say this right now. Anna Jay and Jamie Hayter, when it does happen, when it's probably next week Friday on Rampage, that might be a sleeper pick to steal round 1. I would not doubt either of those two.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I really got to say tonight in this quick ATW form as we just talk about AEW Rampage and primarily our thoughts on the women's division tournament. We hope y'all enjoyed this simple thing too. Before we conclude this quick little thing, and before we talk post-wise of our next AEW view, gosh, you guys are insane. I loved what you did, though. Does anyone have any closing thoughts regarding this AEW women's tournament, bracket, or anything we saw tonight on Rampage?
I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about how surprisingly good the opener was for Rampage between Cassidy and Powerhouse.
Yep.
That was surprisingly well done, and I especially love the finish where Hobbs's temper got the best of him, and he got caught in a mousetrap, which Cassidy hasn't used in a long while. So that was really cool that they protected him in a way, and also showed a bit of a weakness in Hobbs's game, which is controlling his temper.
Exactly. And again, that's that Team Taz attitude coming forward too, showing what he represents. And Orange Cassidy didn't really win. He survived. So it protects Hobbs as well. But it also continues that idea that Matt Hardy's not done deleting Orange Cassidy, as he was definitely rooting for Hobbs to win. Good opener, much stronger growth development, you could tell, since their first encounter that was only 12 seconds.
Before we conclude this, Russell Votes tweet. Okay, it started with Andrade first, and then Russell Votes has picked this up. And Noah, remember what we talked about during the Zoom call?
Yes.
To start the show?
Yes.
It looks like I might be right, because Andrade said FWWE, Russell Votes, who you guys can trust, another source that you can trust in the IWC on Twitter, who have been legit with their sources. Russell Votes came up with this tweet, and I think I might be right, dude. This is only the beginning of the story that unfolded tonight.
So much said in 3 minutes. So much so.
They'll be in a tag team. I'm not shocked. They're probably friends, all of them.
It wouldn't surprise me. Again, it's a team environment. Everyone's out there to bring up one another and bring forward professional wrestling. That is AEW. And that's why I love this company so much. Not perfect, but it damn sure is one of the best things that happened in the industry in a long damn time.
Speaking of that, we'd be remiss to mention that they did not pipe crowd noise in for that ending segment. Cody got cheered in the same fucking town, because remember, this is taped, where he got booed.
Again.
What the fuck is going on?
New attitude, new crowd. Crowd can change their mind on a dime. I don't know.
1 minute they're cheering, 1 minute. This is all the same show, by the way, if you go there live. 1 minute they're booing him when they see his graphic on the screen. Then when Arn Anderson comes out with his quote-unquote Glock, Cody comes out. He's apparently the Glock, and the people go fucking nuts.
Again, AEW, you act as you wish. It's a weird, fickle, wild universe. Anything can happen, and anyone's opinion can change on the dime like that. Shout out to Joseph Kahn, the proper podcaster, who was there live when this was actually recorded, which of course was last week. And I can see now everything he saw except the bracket. Yeah, it did deliver, and yeah, you were right, brother. Andrade vs. Pac 2 definitely surpassed the first one I saw in Cincinnati. Damn you, lucky son of a gun.
Be without a shadow of a doubt. I hope they do the rubber match at Full Gear, by the way. Please put that on pay-per-view. Seriously. I want
agree.
this shit on pay-per-view because that would be so good.
I agree. The potential is there. The story is there, and they are now 1-1, so there has to be a rubber. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good way to conclude. So until the next time we get together, whether it's on View or Quick Forum 2, professional wrestling fans, ATW family galore, and everyone who watches this too, we thank all of you, and I bid you a fine adieu. Until next time, we'll see you around the professional wrestling community too. Goodbye. Because I'm a Kenny Omega Mark. There I said it. And good night. Bang.
That's Eric Glock tonight.
He did have that Glock, didn't he?
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Let's see. Burger or sausage? Burger.
I mean, it's not going to matter when it comes to your diet, huh, buddy? Hey, how's it going, kiddo?
Well, I was wondering when you were going to just raid my freezer and fridge.
Okay, so I was just in the neighborhood and I want to say hi. I'm looking for some, parameters that you might be working on, good sir.
Yeah, you done?
Not yet. You're fat.
All right, cut the bullshit, Lars. What do you want?
Hey, I'm just looking for some content, because, I'm fucking bored and I'm living in a fridge.
You want content?
Yes, of course I want content. So do the people, you dumbass.
The people want content too? Okay.
No shit.
If I feed you content right now and what's upcoming and what's already on FTW Productions, will you leave me the fuck alone?
Okay, maybe just for today, but probably I'll come back tomorrow.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Coming up this week on FTW Productions, we got AEW Spark and WWE Aftershock. WWE Aftershock, hosted by yours truly. God damn it, I watched a bunch of WWE content. I wanted to kill myself. But also, Noah Foster and Zero covering all the AEW stuff on AEW Spark. So go check that out on Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated, along with a bunch of retros for this upcoming week of Wrestling Madness. Because we got Impact Unbreakable 2005. We got Double or Nothing 2019. We got WWE Battleground 2013. And we got Night of Champions 2012. All retros are done and in the can for your enjoyment. 2 of them out now, and 2 of them premiering this week. Speaking of premieres and lives, Noah Foster has got 4, count them, 4 premieres coming up this week on the Simple Man's brand.
Simply predicting.
It's WWE NXT Battleground, WWE Night of Champions, AEW Double or Nothing, and Impact Under Siege. All that coming up and so much more. And hey, if you're sick and tired of the wrestling, well, guess what, Lars? I know you like food, so do I, and so does Casey. The fat fuck aficionados, we got you covered because we cover fast food and restaurants on Wrestling with Idiocy, Episode 8 on Insanity Works Incorporated. All that coming up and so much more on FTW Productions.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, my dude.
All right, you fucking happy now?
I mean, I'm erect at the moment.
All right, cool. Get the fuck out of my fridge. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Oh, don't throw the... Wait, well, what about the brownies from 2B? You fat, no-dick-having motherfucker.
I heard that.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
What's up, what's up? It's me again. Boy, I'm getting a lot of episodes and I'm just knocking them out of the park. Like Albert Pujols should be doing in the World Series. Anyway, episode 15 of Stat Boy Rants, and as always, these stats are Stat Boy approved. We're going to talk about some comments that you guys have been posting on the website, just like I asked you to do, and I thank you for that. First up, my good buddy Mick0032 has said that he's been wanting me to answer this for a long time. I think back when I was in single digits. He wants me to talk that why WWE has not hired any Australian talent since Nathan Jones. And the first answer I have is, honest to God, I have no clue. Now, if you look at the racial background or the ethnic background or whatever the proper term is, race or ethnicity or whatever, I will say, I'm going to say that a good majority of the talent are Caucasian Americans. Below that would probably be the Latino Mexican group. Below that would probably be the Canadians. And then maybe then we'll go with the English. English includes Scotland and Ireland and that all. I mean, I know they're not the same, but they're in that general area. Maybe like the United Kingdom. And then below that would be everybody else, which is very small. You know, it is a touchy subject there, Mick, you know, and like I say, I'm sorry. I mean, I do need to do a bit more research on this, but I don't want to say that Australian people are not talented. And I tried to put that in the nicest way possible. Off camera, you know, I had discussions about this, but, you know, I mean, Australian athletes are tough. I mean, I've seen you guys play rugby. You guys kick ass on the rugby field. You guys take a shot to the balls, take a shot of Guinness, wake up five seconds later, and before you know it, you want to kill somebody. You know, and that's great. You know, like I say, I mean, I meet a lot of Australian people at work, and occasionally I talk about rugby, and then I mention football, and they say, "Oh, football is for sissies because you guys wear pads." And honest to God, it's true. You know, but if there are more Australian wrestlers out there, I mean, if there's like an independent federation in Australia like there is here in America, then maybe WWE should take note and bring in a couple people, you know? Like I say, it's a tough... I'm sorry for not commenting about it sooner, but, you know, I'm really stumped. I have no clue why, you know? If you want to continue this, go ahead and put more comments on there, Mick. You know, you're a good follower of the show. If you want to go back and forth with me on Facebook, you're more than welcome to. If you've got a camera, I'll Skype with you about it, and we'll just go from there. And if you excuse me for one quick second, guys, hold on. You got some background noise in there that I really don't want to hear, so had to close that back door. Okay? So, Mick, you know, like I say, if you've got Skype or if you're on Facebook, we can go back and forth on this one, and then I can go on a better rant than what I did. Big Havo 36, are you going champion versus champion against Zack Ryder? No, like I said before, but woo woo woo, you know it. I'm just doing it for fun. You know, I'm just having fun with the show. You know, like I said, I've said it before. Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. So, you know, I'm doing it for attention because, let's face it, even I can admit I'm an attention person. I want to be the center of attention at all times. And, you know, like I say, if he gets wind of the stuff that I do and, you know, wants to give me a shout out, I'll give him every shout out possible. I will come out every week and I'll I'll say, woo woo, you know it. Take care, spike your hair, and all that stuff. I'll do that till I'm blue in the face. I just won't go to Long Island and try and search him out. I'll give him cheap plugs. It's like, watch his show on YouTube and then watch mine. I'm just doing it for fun. Now, if he wants to come out here and challenge me, and honestly, he'll kick my ass because he's bigger than I am. He's got more episodes than I do. He's got a career. I work at Disneyland, so he's going to win all the way around. But he's a cool guy, and like I said, and briefly touching. Sorry you lost at Vengeance, but you'll get that title sometime. We'll talk about that at a different episode. Let's see what else we got. Mad Gary 222. Who do you like better, Cena as a heel or Cena as a face? In that time before he officially turned face and he came out and he was doing the freestyle stuff, I liked him. Now that he's a face, he needs to bring back the freestyle rapping, because it gets the crowd going and all that. The whole entrance with the salute to the troops, that's nice. Run to the ring, that's nice. You can't see me, the kids still do it wherever you look. He wasn't really heel. He wasn't heel enough, he didn't go after people in the crowd like a heel does. He does. I don't remember if he snuck attack anybody. If he did, I can't really think of. I'll do research on that one. But I think even if he does turn heel officially, there will still be people that like him. So I can't really give you a definitive answer, yes or no. I'm in the middle with Cena. Unless he does something super drastic, like pull a gun on somebody at a live event. Oh wait, too soon. Brian Pillman, no. I don't know. Cena is Cena. Love him or hate him, I really don't care. He's a nice guy. HC Drools 0001 rant on wrestlers that get short title reigns being less than 2 months, and if this continues to happen, will Flair's record of 16 titles be broken? Absolutely. As far as title reigns going less than 2 months, they're stupid. I say go 3 months. 90 days is a nice number to be a champion. What's really dumb is if you hold the title for less than 2 weeks. They call that a transitional championship in the wrestling business, and usually they do that until their big names are ready, or the big names coming off of injury, or storyline purposes, or a match got screwed. Look at Dolph Ziggler. He held the title for 1 day officially. That was dumb. Before the whole debacle with the 2 world championships with Punk and Cena, they waited a whole day for that, even though Punk's contract expired at midnight, so technically he held that. If you remember Edge and Christian, they had a title reign for less than 2 hours in the span of one show. That was dumb. Look at Orton and Triple H and No Mercy a few years back. Triple H started out as champion, or Orton started as champion because he was handed the belt because Cena got injured. Then Triple H got it. Then Triple H lost it at the end of the night. That was dumb. Let's see. The Hardcore Championship 24/7 rule. That was kind of dumb. Let's see. Who else had a dumb title reign? It even happened back in the 60s with Stan Stasiak. He held the belt for only 9 days. So, what did it speak up?
70s.
Was it 70s? Did I say 60s? You know what I meant. 60s, 70s, whatever. Back in the day. Thank you to my brother who's helping me out. I appreciate your help. Like I say, it's pointless, it's dumb, it makes the belt look like a toy instead of what it's supposed to be. So, hold the title for 3 months, call yourself a proper champion. We'll leave it at that. Kruthik, Cruthik, 31. Give me your top 5 wrestlers since 1994 who are excellent on the mic. Okay. Number 1 has got to go to The Miz. I love The Miz on the mic. I may hate him as a wrestler, but when he's on the mic, he demands power and he rips it from you. Gotta go with The Miz. Number 2, CM Punk. Pipe bombs, you know, bringing up Stephanie and Triple H and all that problem. And storyline or not, if you get your microphone cut, enough said. Number 3, I'm going to go with Cena, because of course the rapping was good, and he would occasionally go out and bring in normal stuff. It wasn't all wrestling. Like, he would bring in, you know, that Saddam got his, or the sports teams, or Bernie Madoff, or anything that happened in the real world. He would bring it up, and it's like the crowd would, oh, and whatever. Number 4, The Rock. He did the same thing. He would, if it wasn't for The Rock and his mic skills, we wouldn't have Poontang Pie. And all those innuendos, and the strudel, and saying that Lillian Garcia worked at a sperm bank and she got fired for drinking on the job. That stuff's funny. Rock made me laugh, And let's see, number 5. I'm torn between 2. I'm torn between Trips and Austin. I'm gonna go Trips, because he also had the innuendos with the DX stuff, and his mic skills are going down and down because he's still doing the COO thing and all that. But when he was with DX with Sean, and the one line when they were in LA and Sean fed him the line, who writes this crap? Nobody. They're all on strike. Oh, and that stuff was good. And then all the innuendos, it's like, oh, and you're never going to fight me. You're a man-to boy. Bring out the hot dogs and all the physical shtick. So that stuff was good too. So those are my top 5 as far as that goes. Let's see. Are we all covered? Mic skills, Australians, champ versus champ, short title reigns, and Cena heel versus Cena face. Yep, that's good. Okay. Now that all the ranting is done for this episode, let me get out the plugs. Watch After the Bell, watch Renegade, watch Dads, and Vengeance was good. I'm going to talk about Vengeance, but I'm going to wait till Raw is done, and that'll probably go up in a couple days. I want to wait a couple days. Even though Vengeance was Sunday, the show will probably go up on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. It'll still be a little bit fresh. And also, let me give a shout out to the cool people at Sky High Sports in Costa Mesa. We'll put the information at the bottom of the screen. Basically, Sky High Sports is a giant trampoline place. Basically, it's out by John Wayne Airport. So I'm assuming the building was an airplane hangar. And basically, you bounce on a trampoline for an hour for $10. That's where I went today. I went to Costa Mesa. I checked it out. I read about it in the OC Weekly. And at one point the place was so slow that I was the only one there. So I'm talking with the staff. Shout out to Alex. He was a cool guy. He was working there. And who's the other guy? Noah, I think his name was. And I think they had a girl there. Her name was Brooke. So Alex, Noah, and Brooke, you guys are doing a good job. It's a cool place for families. It's very slow during the week, of course, because kids are in school. They say it's busy on the weekends. And like I say, you get a bit of a workout. You can do flips. You can bounce off the walls, literally. They've got an area for kids. And they have a small little area where you can actually play dodgeball on trampolines. I tried that for a bit too. But I'm so out of shape. I mean, the first 5 minutes I was winded. So then, you sit down, you relax a little bit, you catch your breath, you go back out, you bounce, you get a little workout, you work your legs, you can do flips and all that stuff. It's a great place to go. Again, we'll put the information on the bottom of the screen there. I promised you guys a plug. There you go. Sky High Sports in Costa Mesa. As far as episode 15, we're done. Shirts should be coming out this week. I'm still waiting for that phone call from D&D Sporting Goods in Lakewood. There's your plug. If you want custom-made shirts, go to these guys, because they're pretty good too. Coming up next, of course, episode 16 will be the fallout from Vengeance and Raw results. And UFC is coming up this Saturday. I'll briefly touch about that on the next episode. As far as episode 15, Stat Boy is out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
This episode of Dads on Wrestling, episode 15, our very special post-WrestleMania episode with the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, Talk Wrestling Zone, Jeff Meacham, and our very own Stat Boy himself, the LB Kid. Starts right now.
That's right, folks. We're here to bring you our thoughts post-WrestleMania. WrestleMania literally just ended probably about 10-15 minutes ago, and there were some positives, there were some negatives, and the dads felt that we just had to get a little bit of stuff off of our chest right now. We decided, since he was relegated to camera duty for the prediction show, we'd bring in Uncle Mikey.
Thank you.
For the wrap-up show.
Let me just jump on that positive, negative, and what the fuck was that?
Seriously. Okay, so the curtain jerker tonight was Edge defending the World Heavyweight title against Alberto Del Rio.
What the fuck moment number one? Why start a pay-per-view with a title match?
And not only that, why relegate the U.S. Championship match, which apparently turned into a lumberjack match, which apparently turned into a battle royal,
there you go.
Which crowned the Great Khali, the U.S. champion, first walk-off of the night.
What the fuck moment number two?
Yeah, seriously, it's like, okay, before we get into that, it's like, what happened to winning the Royal Rumble and getting the main event spot at WrestleMania? That is the entire point of winning the motherfucking Royal Rumble. You get the goddamn title shot at WrestleMania. And granted, he did get his title shot, but it's supposed to be a main event title shot, not the curtain jerker.
Seriously.
I'm not an Alberto Del Rio fan, but I'm sorry. I'd be pissed off.
Seriously.
I am pissed off.
Jay's mad.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, don't.
Wait till we get a little deeper into this,
fine.
because Jeff, come on.
Alberto Del Rio, regardless of how the match ended, which is Edge retaining the World Heavyweight Championship.
Which is bullshit, because they wasted 8 months
building up Alberto. And then, not only did they kill him, but they killed his car. Edge and Christian killed his car.
Alberto doesn't even have the Cruiserweight title to contend for anymore. He's going to be stuck in mid-card hell for the rest of his life now.
You forget, Edge pretty much worked for free tonight with all the damage he did to
Total
that
amount
car.
of damages to the car? $250,000.
Are you serious? Wow.
I am.
That's why he's the stat boy, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wondered.
Thank you.
That's fail.
Okay, next match.
What was the next match?
I have no idea.
Next match after that was
Ray and Cody.
Yes, Ray and Cody. That should have been the curtain jerker.
Yeah, and it actually wasn't that bad.
Props to Rey Mysterio for coming out of as Captain America. Our cameraman, AA, Aaron Austin, put up on his Facebook what superhero we thought Rey Mysterio was going to come out as, and I completely called that one. Captain America, yeah, it was more Captain Mexican with the Aztec symbol instead of the shield, and the M instead of the A, but it was still Captain America.
Captain America would be Captain Arriba?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Latin America.
Tito, word up.
Okay.
Wow.
Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes was a good match.
Yeah.
It should have been the curtain jerker, though.
Should have. And then we moved into...
Mike, you're being awful quiet. Anything to say about Ray and Cody?
He continued his streak, like you said, with the superheroes. Didn't win, obviously. Very shocking in that moment. Who knows where Cody's going to go now? Is he going to keep the mask on? We don't know. Maybe he'll go for a push for the title. I don't know. I'm stumped on that one. And Ray apparently is gone. His contract's coming up soon. You know anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that. It wouldn't surprise me if he's winding down himself because he's beat up too.
He's so. Say bye, Ray. Thank you, but you're done.
Right off into the sunset, please.
Okay.
Vaya con Dios.
Wow, I didn't know Jeff Meacham was bilingual.
I didn't either. That's the best part. I didn't know I was either.
All right. Then we
Okay, sorry.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, good. I love you guys.
Just not as sloshed as he was at the SummerSlam post show, but he did have a couple of beers.
Wait a minute. I'm supposed to be the sloshing drunk, not him. I didn't touch a drop tonight.
Were you at
It's the
SummerSlam?
ginger in him.
Were you at SummerSlam?
No.
I'm the sloshing drunk, bitch.
Oh.
It's the ginger in him.
Oh, yeah, really. Okay, what was
When
it?
Irish
After
guys
that-
are smiling.
After that, I don't remember which came next, but let's just jump to Triple H Undertaker.
Okay. Wow.
Ain't no grave can hold that body down.
All I gotta say is, win or lose, Hunter, I was in the back of the room, headbanging to your For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Heck yeah, baby.
intro.
Very good.
I still have a splitting headache from headbanging. I don't have the hair for it that I used to because my job makes me cut it. But I was sitting there in the back of the room, throwing down.
But, like I said, and much to our our lady
Your
chagrin.
fiancés.
Yeah, my fiance chagrin.
And I quote, I will never watch wrestling again.
Yes, you will. I'm not watching this crap. I'll watch the indie shows, but I'm not watching this crap ever again. Yes, she will. She will. It'll happen. Whatever. But anyway, 19-0.
19-0. The streak continues.
But he got carted off in the process. So
Yes, he did.
We don't know how. We don't know why. Maybe he popped something when he put the Hell's Gate on. We don't know.
We don't know. We'll have to find out.
I didn't know. We're going to have to keep up to date on that.
Yep.
Hopefully on either the Renegade this week, Tuesday, or on this week's Dads.
Or Talk Wrestling or whatever ends
up
happening.
We'll be able to give a more accurate status update on the Dead Man.
Of course, Monday's Talk Wrestling is not going to be the best show we ever do because I'm not on it. But sure.
I think next in the order was the 8-man.
Yeah, yes, the Core versus Team Midcard Hell, who we didn't have anything else to do at WrestleMania.
Right.
They won.
How does the Core not win this match? They need to have dominance established. They have the tag titles and the IC titles, and they're not winning the WrestleMania match.
I missed that. Epic. You guys didn't tell me that one. That was a stat I missed. You didn't tell me Wade Barrett was the IC champ.
Yeah. He won it 2 weeks ago.
He won it 2 weeks ago on SmackDown.
You didn't tell me.
Why aren't you watching?
Why aren't you watching the product, Stat Boy?
Stat Boy,
you're fired, Stat Boy.
Why aren't you watching the Renegade of Wrestling every Tuesday on YouTube? You would have found out about it then.
Why aren't you watching Talk Wrestling? Oh, wait, Talk Wrestling is announced. Never mind. Because we're that far in the can, baby. Woo!
All right, so I slipped a little bit, but I'm sorry. I'll do
so that's 4 of the 8 matches. That'll bring us now to...
Orton Punk.
Yes, Orton Punk.
We're not going anywhere. I'm still buzzed. I have no idea what the hell's going on right now. So
In my opinion, I'm going to catch shit for saying it, but Orton Punk was the match of the night. A lot of people are already saying Taker Tripp stole the show,
but we expected that.
It was good.
But it was not Shawn Michaels Undertaker.
Yes, I will say that. I will say the Shawn Taker matches were better than Tripp's Taker tonight.
Trips and Taker delivered what they were supposed to deliver, no doubt about that. But there should have been more, number one. Number two, Orton and Punk went out there and did what they had to do.
Yes.
They wrestled for their livelihoods.
Yes, and they did a damn good job.
And I'm surprised that Randy pulled this one out. I pulled for Punk. I'm a huge Orton mark, as everybody knows.
Yes.
I pulled for Punk in this one, figuring that his Nexus members would come out with a ref bump and annihilate Orton so that he could cheat to win, get the 1, 2, 3. Completely dumbfounded. No new Nexus came out. Randy did it clean. Much love to Randy Orton for pulling it out.
Bravo.
He made it happen.
Where's he going to go now?
Straight back to the WWE Championship picture.
Hopefully.
If there's any sort of God.
We
have a tweet coming in on the AA phone.
We've just received a tweet from the anonymous Raw GM who says that we must mention Snooki.
Yay, Snooki!
Snooki, Trish, and John Morrison.
John Morrison did
one Starship Pain
versus Lay Cole and Dolph Ziggler. Now, I brought this up earlier tonight.
Yes.
Is it just me, or is Dolph Ziggler, Lay Cole, and Vicky Guerrero the new PMS and me?
Damn, he went old school.
He did.
He went
Think
90s.
about it. You had Terry, Jacqueline, and Ryan Shamrock with Sean Stasiak. You got Layla, Michelle, and Vicky, and Dolph Ziggler.
The better question is, do any of you out there know what the hell we're talking about, you kids? I don't think you do.
I think the true blue marks do, but the C Nation doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about.
And speaking of...
hold on, we're missing? King and Cole.
Yeah, there's a reason we missed that.
There's a reason we missed that one.
The best part about Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler was the WrestleMania side Spinneroonie, Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out to refereeing it, and JR on commentary. Am I wrong?
Nope.
And the beer.
Can't forget
that match was so god-awful. That match was so god-awful that the Raw GM had to reverse the decision to give Cole more heel heat. Like, he didn't have enough already.
Seriously.
And he...
by the way, we had to stop following Cole.
Yes.
Thank you, Cole, but you're done.
I pledged that come WrestleMania, I would follow Michael Cole on Twitter, since he had his little, Twitter / Michael Cole on his coal miner cave that he's been residing in. And now... I've got to unfollow him because that's the promise I made. Now, I have a question for you, Jeff.
Yes.
If Michael Cole ever has a little girl, would she be a coal miner's daughter?
That's a good question. I'll go with no. Because neither she'd be a fan of her own father.
I'm just programming. That's all I could think.
Exactly.
And now we go to the main event.
The Miz with A-Rai versus John Cena.
And hate that I say this, but thank God for The Rock.
You know, I was
I'm-
content with the draw
I was too, because
the Miz
was
retained
in the title.
As soon as The Rock came out to start the match, I was
worried.
oh
worried.
crap,
Yeah.
oh crap.
Yep.
Is it going to become a triple threat with The Rock in it, and The Rock's going to take the title? Is he going to help the Fruity Pebble? You know, and they could form a tag team of Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles?
Ooh. Bye.
What was going to happen
Three
as
times,
far
yeah,
as that
that's your
one
limit.
goes?
I'm cutting you off.
But-
You're walking off your own show.
But I'm glad that The Rock gave John Cena his receipt from Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
Planted him with that rock bottom. The Miz, 1, 2, 3. Nice fair count. It wasn't a quick count or anything. It was a legit count. And The Miz proved why he is awesome.
And with this win, he has now surpassed 130 days, so that's a little bit past 4 months. If he can keep going, a 6-month reign sounds pretty damn good.
Thank you, Stat Boy.
There you go. He's past 130.
I have to admit, the video packages that they showed
For both.
Very
to start
good.
the match off with The Miz using Nas's "Hate Me Now" with Puff Daddy,
There you go.
and John Cena's using "The Prayer" from DMX. Well put together video packages. Kevin Dunn, you outdid yourself.
But I just
on
love that the Atlanta crowd actually booed a choir.
What the
Because
fuck,
of
moment
They
number
were
3.
singing "My Time Is Now."
Yeah.
What?
That's all
I
that
mean,
needed
I mean,
to be
come
said.
on.
If John Cena doesn't turn heel out of tonight,
Well, I have it on good authority.
Uh-oh.
That the AA from Monday last week was the start of the heel turn. Because you
go.
notice, when Cena AA'd The Rock, he stood over The Rock like Shawn Michaels did when he super kicked Hogan.
this is very
Same
true.
look on the face, same kind of like, yeah,
But
that's right.
Tonight, he was virtually full-blown babyface again.
Well, he
It
tried.
was almost like that didn't exist. Yes, the Atlanta crowd was booing him out of the building.
But that's normal.
Exactly. That's nothing new. He's been getting booed out of the building the last 5 years.
But now he has reason to lash out, and I fought for you people, and I fought for your cause, and The Rock screwed me, and you cheered him.
Sounds kind of like the promo
With Brett.
that Mick Foley cut
Okay.
back in '98 when him and Terry Funk
Got
were chained to the
obliterated by,
cage.
yeah, got obliterated by DX.
Got
yeah.
beat up by the brand new DX, and he came out the next week talking about, "I gave you Cactus Jack, and you chant for Austin."
Wow, we're going
Well,
back.
a long time before you... Again, do you kids know what we're talking about?
Young ones, it's not
Everyone
all
always asked me, why wasn't I Cactus Jack? I gave you Cactus, and you chant for Austin.
Cena-
It'll be
it's
a
not all
long
about
time
you can't
before
see
you
me.
see Cactus again.
Cena has given these little creepy C-Nation little brats what they've wanted
For 7 years.
for almost 7 years, and The Rock got more cheers tonight.
He
Big
did.
time. The Miz got more cheers tonight.
He did. All right, guys.
Because
it's
he's
2 minutes
the
warning,
Miz.
We gotta wrap up.
And
Awesome.
he's awesome.
Don't you forget it. Hope you enjoyed this little WrestleMania wrap-up edition of Dad's on Wrestling. I'm the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams.
I am Mr. TW, the best nickname in the world, Jeff Meacham.
I am Stat Boy Mike Caldwell.
A.K.A. the LB Kid. I'll see you Tuesday. We'll see you
We'll see you
Thursday.
Thursday, and-
He'll see you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Thursday.
Talk wrestling when it returns, because I
Yeah.
gotta get to Northridge first.
There you go.
We'll see you next time.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
NoDQ&A is your hookup. Holler if you hear me. That's right. Welcome everyone to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner, Aaron Rift. Thank you very much for checking out the show. I really appreciate the subscribers and I appreciate all the feedback and you guys checking it out. So thank you very much. Let's get right down to your questions via FormSpring. Do you think they will ever drop the comic gimmick with Santino since he does have an actual wrestling background? I really hope they do something different with Santino. Quite frankly, I've been sick and tired of his whole comedy gimmick for about 2 or 3 years now. It got old fast. I was watching the Greatest WWE Superstars of the 21st Century documentary, and I just thought it was ridiculous that they have Santino as one of the guys being interviewed to talk about the superstars. If you want credibility, why are you having this guy do the interviews with the unibrow on that? It's just so goofy. Yeah, I'd like to see something different with him. Maybe repackage him with a more serious character. Hey Aaron, what does WWE have to do to make the Intercontinental title legitimate again? It no longer seems like a stepping stone into main event status and is hardly defended at pay-per-views anymore. Well, for starters, why don't they have an Intercontinental match on pay-per-view? That would be nice. Maybe have a guy with the Intercontinental title win matches. There's so many things they could do. You know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, yeah, that's a period I grew up, so the Intercontinental title was almost as if not the same as the world title or more important than the world title. I remember, you know, looking forward to those matches because they would always be the best matches on the show. And sometimes the Intercontinental title match would be right under the main event or the main event, like SummerSlam 1992. So yeah, it's really easy to make that title mean something again, but WWE chooses not to do it for whatever reason. What do you think about the Sin Cara heel turn? Well, apparently the situation in WWE right now is that Mystico will be returning to feud with Hunico, who just turned heel with the Sin Cara character this week on Super SmackDown. Now, I know that sounds kind of funny because they've been going back and forth with it. 1 week, Mystico's gone. 1 week, he's coming back. Who knows? But yeah, right now, it does seem like they are going forward with the whole Sin Cara versus Sin Cara feud. So we'll see what happens there. Hey, Aaron, do you think CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar would be a good match at WrestleMania 28? Sure it would, but it's not going to happen. Hey Aaron, do you feel that spoiler websites have ruined the wrestling business in any way? For example, Chris Jericho's last return was pretty much common knowledge for most fans. I personally enjoy your website a lot and think you do a great job. Well, first of all, thank you very much on that last comment. As far as spoiler websites go, it's hard for me to say because I run a spoiler website, so I don't know if it ruins it or not. For me, it doesn't really matter because if I read the spoilers and the show sounds interesting, then I'm going to watch it. I'm watching it either way, but it does sound more interesting to me when I read the spoilers, and it sounds like it's a good show. I don't really think it makes that much of a difference because you gotta have to keep in mind that maybe only about 5 to 10% of the WWE viewing audience goes on the internet all the time and actually follows up and reads all the news and spoilers or whatever. So it doesn't really make a whole much of a difference to WWE's bottom line. And if you don't like the spoilers, you don't have to read them. And I apologize if No DQ has ever spoiled something, but we try our best to let you know that a spoiler is coming. So there you go. Do you think that John Morrison will be either WWE champion or world champion? Well, at the start of the year, things were looking really hopeful for John Morrison. He had that great match with The Miz for the WWE title, and it did seem like 2011 was going to be a breakout year, but things change. And especially with this whole situation with Melina over the last couple months, it's hard to say. Every day that goes by, it seems less and less likely that Morrison's going to get that big break. I have no idea. Like I said on the text No DQ&A, I think that the lack of promo skills have really hurt Morrison in terms of getting to that main event level. He's got the in-ring skills, he's got the look, but when he's on the mic, it just comes off really awkward. So I heard he was doing comedy classes or improv classes, and that was the same thing that The Miz was doing back in 2009, 2010, and as you can see, it really helped him a lot. So really, that's what I would do if I was John Morrison. I would take the improv classes. I would really work on the mic work, and maybe, just maybe, in 2012, 2013, Morrison will break out to that next level. We'll see. Would you like to see TNA Reaction come back? Not really. I mean, it was a nice idea, but I wasn't really a big fan of it. It's just another TV show. Just another hour of wrestling I have to watch. Yeah, so, I don't know. Should Eric Bischoff take Vince Russo's job on the creative team in TNA? No. No. If you're gonna replace Vince Russo, get somebody new. Get somebody with a fresh idea, fresh vision, whatever. No Eric Bischoff. Please no. Hey Aaron, with The Rock hosting WrestleMania 27, do you think that WrestleMania is going to start getting a host every year? Personally, I think that would suck. It's cool that The Rock hosted it, but I think it should be a one-time deal for WrestleMania. What do you think, Josh? I do not think they're going to be doing a guest host every year. I think the whole idea behind doing a guest host for WrestleMania was to get The Rock on the pay-per-view without him actually having to wrestle. No more guest hosts, please. It's partly Beth's fault, but now that there's no more guest hosts, now that she's not involved with them anymore, we don't have to worry about it, thankfully. If you want to know more about that, you can message me on Facebook, facebook.com/AaronRift. I'll tell you the little story there. But anyways, that about does it for No DQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. You can submit your questions at formspring.me/AaronRift. I apologize if I haven't gotten to your question. Right now my inbox is about at 850, so I still got a long ways to go. I'm really trying to pump out as many shows as possible, trying to increase the length of the shows a little bit, get some more questions out there. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on it. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCAW, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. My question to you guys for this edition is, who do you think should face Undertaker at WrestleMania 28? Should it be Chris Jericho? Should it be CM Punk? Should it be Triple H? Should it be Mick Foley? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. What is your reasoning behind it? And that about does it. We'll see you next time for No DQ&A video here on NoDQ.com.